The Pacific region's peak political body, which Australia helped to found 50 years ago, is in crisis. 5 Micronesian states have quit the Pacific Islands Forum over an escalating diplomatic dispute. It amounts to almost a third of the group's members leaving it in turmoil as it tries to coordinate the region's response to COVID-19.
All smiles for the cameras. The Pacific family 2 years ago in Tuvalu at their last annual leaders meeting. But this year the party's been spoilt by an ugly diplomatic bust-up, with the leaders of Palau, Marshall Islands, Kiribati, Federated States of Micronesia and Nauru quitting.
We're going to do what we can to try and encourage leaders to stay. You know, the strength of the Pacific Island Forum is the wide representation.
The 18 Pacific Island Forum members fall into formal blocks: Melanesia, Polynesia and Micronesia, plus Australia and New Zealand. And each sub-region has taken turns to be the Secretary-General. It's 20 years since Micronesia headed the forum, and it says it's now their go, under a so-called gentleman's agreement. But a special virtual meeting of leaders last week narrowly rejected their candidate and picked a former Prime Minister of Cook Islands. There is no value in participating in an organisation that does not respect established agreements. All 5 nations will initiate the formal process of withdrawing. It's not known who Australia supported in last week's secret leadership ballot.
I absolutely appreciate the disappointment that representatives of governments across Micronesia have with that outcome. But I do very much hope that they decide to remain engaged with the forum. I can say certainly that our close partnerships with those nations will remain.
But the split comes at a crucial time for the forum.
A collective, unified voice from the Pacific Islands on climate change and on the pandemic preparedness is going to be far more powerful than some part of the region speaking up.
The Micronesians have to give a year's notice to quit, and like many family disputes, there's still time to make up. Stefan Armbruster, SBS World News.